Hello, friends, and welcome to another series of Leaders Connect podcast. And if you're listening to me on YouTube, welcome. If you're listening and watching me on YouTube, welcome. And thank you for creating the time to be here with me for this next few minutes. My dear friends and followers from podcasting, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for being here once again. As I've always said, our podcast focuses on leadership development and personal growth. So anything in between there, we teach that, we practice that, we model that, and we are so honored that you get to be with us and we get to speak into your lives. We don't take that for granted. Thank you for giving me a front row in your journey of growth, either in personal growth or in leadership development. I appreciate it. Thank you. So today, our topic is interesting and it's going to be brief. So don't go away. Stay with me. Otherwise, if you leave, you may find that we're done. So we're going to talk about the power of collaboration. And I want to start by saying, by sharing this, reading this statement, that we do better when we do it together. We do better when we do it together. There's also a verse in the Bible that I love that says that God commands a blessing where there is unity. And my question for you is, do you do better when you're working with other people or collaborating, or do you feel like you do better when you work alone? The truth of the matter is, when you do something alone, you may do it well. But if you want to accomplish more, if you want to impact more people and influence many people, indeed you want to collaborate. And the reason I say that is when you do something by yourself, you're like a drop in the ocean. But when we do something cooperatively, we are the ocean. The force of a drop and the force of the ocean are completely different. You can tell the impact. And so I want to encourage us. Anytime you think of doing something, maybe it's a project that you want to do, if you can take the time to plan it out and try to involve other people, and especially people that can do something that you cannot do as well, bring them in, bring them on board, and do these things with them, or work on this project together. The truth of the matter is, you will go far. You could finish faster when you do it alone, but you will go far and have a greater impact and influence and significance as well when you do it with other people. In DISC assessments and in DISC profiling, we have a tool that helps us identify our strengths and work on developing those strengths. And we have a D personality, we have an I, an S, and a C. And each of those personalities is different. We are a combination of all four. But this is the thing. There are two and sometimes three that are dominant. You see, if naturally you are task-oriented, you will need to bring in someone else who is people-oriented so that you can go farther and faster. You could do your job very well as a task-oriented person, but not have a bigger influence because you're not people-oriented. And that is the whole reason behind this message today. That if we can collaborate, let us encourage it. Anytime, any chance we have to do something with someone else, let's bring them in. And the beauty of this, it's like a potluck lunch or potluck dinner. Instead of spending the whole entire day in the kitchen cooking, if you can have the participants or the friends that are coming to your party, each bring something, especially close friends, and those that you know won't mind. If you can have each one of them bring something, then it becomes easier for you and you get to enjoy the party more. Why? Because you collaborated with other people. If the party is being held in my house and I bring in Isaiah and Isaac and Stella and maybe even Daniel to help me tidy up the house, then one person can take care of the living room, the other person can take care of the kitchen, and the other person can take care of the front yard, including watering the plants. And within an hour, we could all be done, as compared to I trying to get everything done so that I can do it my way and so that I can do it well. You see, when you collaborate with other people, you may need to just give them the guidelines and the instructions of what you need done, and then allow them to do things their way. The beauty of that is you may discover a new way of doing things that you never knew of before. They might even do it better than you could have. And so there are many advantages of collaborating and working with other people. And so, my dear friend that's listening to me today, we do better when we do things together. Let's collaborate. Let's come together, because even by so doing, we build relationship. I love what our pastor recently announced in church last month. He said the church, our church has a big front yard. And this being summer, the weeds were starting to sprout. And sometimes when weeds are not taken care of, they could overtake the flowers and the grass. And of course, they're not pretty. And so our senior pastor said, the church is capable of hiring a landscaper or someone to come and weed or uproot the weeds. But he said, I want to give you an opportunity as members of the church to get to know each other. And he directed us to a man that was standing at the back with a clipboard. And he said, why don't you register your name with the gentleman at the back? And he will group you with 2 or 3 other families. And you get to have a piece of the yard in church where you can stop by and uproot some weeds with your fellow churchmates. And the reasoning behind that was so that we can get to know each other, collaborate one with another, get to know one another, build relationships. You can imagine relationships build where teenagers interact with fellow teenagers, mothers and fathers, young kids. They get to play together, serve together, and grow in faith together. There's nothing that can beat that. And so I thought that was such an honorable thing that our pastor did, a great initiative of getting the members of our church to know each other and build relationships. What is your excuse today for not collaborating with your coworker to get a task done, or partnering with your neighbor to start a business, solve a problem that is presently affecting your neighborhood? What is your excuse? chances are you may be thinking, oh, let me preserve this relationship by not collaborating or partnering with XYZ. Why don't I challenge you today to do something interesting where you are going to get a book, or a tablet. And assuming this is a piece of paper or a book, just break it, like draw a line from the top to the bottom. And then on one side, write the pros of collaborating or partnering, and on the other side, the cons of partnering or collaborating. And then after you've listed both, look at the advantages of both. And chances are you will discover that you will do more, you will accomplish more, you will go further, you have a bigger and a greater impact when you collaborate than you could have had if you did it alone. I hope you've been blessed. I hope I've encouraged you to contact a friend that's better than you at something and work together. That was the whole purpose of today's podcast and today's video. Essie Daniel here with Aspire Global Leadership, and I want to thank you for creating the time to be here with me. Have an amazing week, and until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.